Designing without a budget is a dusty plan on the shelf. It absolutely burdens me. It's so unfortunate that 80% of church designs never get built. What happens in the traditional approach is an owner, a church, decides to hire an architect because they believe that they're in a position that they have to do something about the current building. They have to expand. So what they do is they hire an architect, and I want to be very clear, I'm not being critical of architects. They're absolutely amazing, extremely talented people. But what they're trying to do is make sure that they encompass every component of the owner's vision. So what they do is they come in and they want to make sure to get in front of all the stakeholders, and they capture all of the needs and perceived needs of the stakeholders in the ministries. They want to make sure that they encompass all of the programming needs. So they're now designing a gorgeous, beautiful building, and they do seek to design beautiful buildings. So at some point in time, this design gets put in front of the owner, and the owner has an opportunity to take a look to see if it meets their needs. And as you can imagine, it is absolutely beautiful, and the owner falls in love with it. So the owner decides to go, well, what's the next step? And the next step is we need to go figure out if our initial estimate is accurate. So they hire a general contractor. The general contractor works by identifying trade partners. The trade partners begin to bid or submit bids on the original designs. And unfortunately, this is the difficult pain point that happens way too often, 80% of the time. The moment the number comes in, the owner, as hard as they try to keep a nice, cool, calm face, you could see the pain that they're experiencing because they fell in love with the design. They fell in love what their church could look like. But unfortunately, they now know they cannot afford it. It is very critical that the church figures out on the front end exactly what their affordability on the project is. What can their operational budget withstand when it comes to debt service? How much can they raise through a loan? How much can they raise through a capital campaign? How much cash do they have? It is critical to figure this out for owners. So that way, you can bring the budget to the table, and now you can take in all the programming needs and all of the needs that the ministries may have and figure out how to blend these two things together. Design towards a budget absolutely moves you closer to being able to execute that project and actually build what you've designed. It's very critical. I encourage every owner, don't start the design process. Don't spend the time and the money designing and drawing something that may never get built. That is not good stewardship of your resources. Figure out what you can afford. Do the necessary legwork there. Then begin the design process and ensure that your team has the ability and the competence to deliver a gorgeous design to the budget that's been set in front of them.